Hello, my name is Steve Karcher. I'm an AE specialist at National Instruments, and I'm going to give you a basic demo on using the National Instruments VeriStand asynchronous messaging user interface example program to interface with VeriStand channel data. First thing I'll do is open VeriStand, load the sine wave delay shipping example, and run that project. This gives me a bunch of channels that I can map my NIVS AMUI controls to. Now that the example is running, we'll turn to LabVIEW. Open the NIVS AMUI project and create a new VI under my computer. I'm going to add a simple framework just for the example. Now, to the front panel, I'm going to add several NIVS AMUI controls. The first control that I place on the front panel launches the common process in the background. So it launches as a minimized window, and if I look at its front panel, I'll see that as I add NIVS AMUI controls to the front panel of this VI, they register with the common process and join that collection of controls. I'm going to give these controls a label. And I'm going to change two of them to indicators. If I run this VI, nothing happens. That's because none of these controls are mapped to VeriStand channels. If I right-click them and select Map to NI VeriStand channel from the context menu, I can select which VeriStand channel I want to map to. So for the control that I called alarm count, I'm going to map it to alarm count. For the indicator called actual loop rate, I'm going to map that to a system channel called actual loop rate. And for the indicator called alarm count, I'm going to map that to alarm count as well. If I take a peek over at the VeriStand workspace, I'll notice that these controls and indicators reflect the actual loop rate and the alarm count just as VeriStand's workspace does. And as you saw in the basic demo, if I change the value of alarm count, that new value is reflected in VeriStand as well. The next thing I'm going to do is, from the block diagram of this simple demo, is I'm going to connect the iteration terminal to the alarm count indicator. That has the effect of writing a new value to the alarm count VeriStand channel. Now when I run this VI, I see the value getting written to alarm count from the iteration terminal, and I see the VeriStand channel value changing as well. Now essentially I have two sources of data for the alarm count user channel. One is the block diagram of this VI, and the other is the system definition that's running on my localhost. If I decide to change the value from the alarm count control, I have a third source of data for this VeriStand channel. If I set the value to 0, I'll see all three indicators update to 0 just for one iteration of this simple example VI, but then the iteration terminal will write a new value to the alarm count channel, and it'll pick up where it left off. Did you catch it? I'll do it again. Watch in VeriStand the alarm count indicator. It writes to 0 and then picks up with the new value from the iteration terminal. That concludes the demo of using NIVS AMUI to interface with NI VeriStand channel data.